Someone who has changed video games and not for the better is Anita Sarkeesian. It has been 10 whole years since she unveiled tropes versus women in video games, thinking she was going to be the savior of video games in the way women were depicted in them. And while over the years she has tried to do other things and gain relevancy, she'll always be known as that woman who cries Gamergate. It's the only thing she's known for, and probably the only thing she'll ever be known for. And at GDC, she went on about how the industry isn't saved, but she feels that she's won. I have a few things to show off, but before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider supporting the channel via YouTube memberships or become a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month. All of the links are in the description, and of course, I do really appreciate all of the support. Of course, every few months we hear something about Anita Sarkeesian, and usually it's not very positive. Usually it's a take that she put on social media, which is terrible and everyone disagrees with. But it says Anita Sarkeesian takes a much-earned victory lap. Anita Sarkeesian's Tropes vs. Women in Video Games launched its Kickstarter campaign 10 years ago, and the media critic took the stage at the Game Developers Conference last week to reflect on the impact her series has had and how much and how little gaming has changed in the years since. So she went into this trying to basically say, we won, we got changes in gaming, but developers still haven't done enough. Of course, because nothing is ever enough to people like her. I think it's hilarious how they're talking about tropes versus women in video games, a series that got completely ratioed, a series people completely disagreed with. Of course, they have the comments hidden, but the first part was called Damsel in Distress. It has 19,000 likes to 57,000 dislikes. Clearly, people did not agree with her takes. We won. In some ways, the talk was a victory lap for Sarkeesian, who told the crowd at GDC she feels feminist voices in gaming media and criticism succeeded in holding companies, developers, and fans accountable for their behavior, while also ushering in meaningful changes to both how games are made and how women are presented in the medium. Unfortunately, women are not presented in the medium the way a lot of people like them to be. I understand not every female character is going to be some blonde, busty bombshell, and that is okay. Not every character has to look the same, but it's like when attractive females are put into video games now, those video games are attacked and developers feel forced to change their designs, and that is awful. Developers should not have to feel like, oh no, we put a female in a video game that looks kind of attractive. How much heat are we going to take? How much are we going to be attacked? And how many people are going to try to cancel our games? And it's people like Sarkeesian who kind of started that trend in gaming. It says if I tried to make any of these tropes videos today with only games from the last 10 years, it would be harder. Not impossible, but harder, she said. There would be fewer examples and the patterns less egregious, and I think that's saying something. The difference now is cancel culture. People are going on social media and will cancel developers, games, even characters in video games over the smallest things. And Anita Sarkeesian was a big part of that. She got people in her crowd, in her social circle, to look at specific games and attack them and try to cancel them. And they say, oh, we want developers to just do better. They do not care if developers do better. They only care that developers do what they want. Sarkeesian pointed to examples like Dishonored 2, Horizon Zero Dawn, and The Last of Us that featured strong female protagonists that didn't fall into many of the same traps her trope series highlighted in the past. I mean, she even went into attacking Princess Peach because she was a damsel in distress. This is what Anita Sarkeesian wants, is for characters to look like Scarlet in Mortal Kombat 11. They want characters covered up, not showing any cleavage, their bodies toned down, and I personally don't want that, and I know many other people do not want that. We are talking about video games here. Not every character has to be boring and bland. Gaming is still male-dominated. She joked that the best-selling games when she started her trope series were Call of Duty, Halo, and Madden, and now the best-selling games are still Call of Duty, Halo, and Madden. She also says that many developers have skirted opportunities to tell female stories by creating live service games in games without rich narratives. This is like saying only girls can play mobile games. Even I play and love Call of Duty and Halo. These games are popular with men and women because they're good, not because anyone who's playing them has internalized misogyny or hates games with women. Nothing like that. We like them because they're fun. It's as simple as that. Our industry has been moving towards service games where you choose from a roster of characters or maybe even have character creators, and I think that has done two things. We now have more characters and more diversity of characters. More players get to see themselves reflected in games than ever before, but it's kind of killed stories. We have less stories, and I completely disagree with this because while yes, there are a lot of service games and multiplayer games where you can choose from a roster of characters, there are so many single-player story-focused games still. It's like she's not actually looking at games that developers are creating. She then pointed to the indie game Gone Home, which she called a revelation for centering a queer female narrative, as an example of the kinds of games the industry needs more of to continue evolving. And of course, while Anita Sarkeesian is sitting here patting herself on the back, you'd think she'd have more to show for these past 10 years, that feminist frequency would be booming right now. I mean, feminist frequency has 672,000 followers on Twitter, yet they only get 7 likes on a post from 4 hours ago. From yesterday, 11 likes on a post. If we go to their YouTube channel, 800 views from 7 days ago. 6 days ago, 618 views. Their channels, their social media is doing terrible right now. You'd think that if she's saying we won, she'd actually have something to show for it. A lot of people do not like Anita Sarkeesian and feminist frequency because of the bad takes that she's put out over the years. Clearly, with all of the takes she's had over the years, she has lost a lot of the fans that maybe supported her at the beginning. A lot of people do not support Anita Sarkeesian, feminist frequency, and the takes that she has, and honestly, I see why. I mean, she's sitting here patting herself on the back saying she's the one that made it so they won against all the terrible people in the gaming industry, and she's the one who brought upon change in the industry. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.